Khamzat Chimaev had a message for Dricus du Plessis today. On X, Khamzat posted this photo of a wolf. He followed up with this photo of Donald Trump, and he added Dricus du Plessis with the eyes emoji. Aljamain Sterling reacts to his fight against Movsar Evloev being on the prelims this weekend at UFC 310. Aljo says the UFC is going to realize they messed up by not putting this on the main card.
I didn't know if I should have been insulted by the placement on the fight card or glass half full. I guess that's the best way I try to look at everything in life. I get to fight earlier, get to be done earlier, I get to pop open a fresh bottle of Funk Harbor, hang out with the friends and celebrate a big win. I was a little confused by it, of course. I guess they have their rhyme or reason for what they do, the UFC brass, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's not my organization. I don't call the shots, I just go out there and compete. And it's up to me to go out there and prove these guys wrong that, hey, we are and I am a main card fighter. I think people are gonna be in for a very big surprise, and the UFC is gonna realize we messed up big time by not putting this on the main card.
Kamaru Usman fires back at fans who are saying he was scared and ducked Shavkat Rakhmonov. On the Pound for Pound podcast, Kamaru says he actually doesn't think Shavkat versus Ian Gary will be as exciting as people think.
This is an intriguing fight. This was a fight that, I was potentially going to slide into. But, I've touched on this a million times, which is crazy to me, Henry, because I'm seeing online people go, oh, you scared? You duck him? You ducked him? You scared? You scared? I'm like, what? What? Exactly. I'm like, wait, what? What? This is the same sentiment that I feel like people are doing to Jon Jones. It's just like when people where you're fans or fans of a fighter don't get their desired wish that they want, that's the fight I want. Then it's like, oh no, that guy must be scared because he didn't take the fight. Like, guys, shut up. Shut up. Yeah. We step in there each and every time. I have 25 or 22 or 25 fights. I don't know. I don't know how many fights. But you think everyone, oh, you scared. Yeah, okay. World champion and defending belts time and time again. Oh, he's scared. Yeah. Shut up. Just because you didn't get what you wanted. Yeah. Guess what? It's like your mom telling you, no, you can't have that toy today. You can't have that toy. So shut your mouth. Instead, we got a banging fight. We've got Shavkat Rakhmonov taking on Ian Gary. Henry, now this fight, I'm saying, and I'm not hating in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I love the fight on paper, but I don't think it's going to be as exciting as people think. People are expecting blood, oh, this and that, and I don't think it's going to be that because Ian Gary is a smart fighter that's willing to just, if he has to dance around for 30 minutes, he's going to dance around. He's willing to do that in order to create the space that he wants, in order to try to land his strikes. Shavkat, not necessarily. Shavkat's going to play the game with you for a little bit, but Shavkat at some point is going to want to get going. So if Ian doesn't want to get going, like we know, Henry, it takes two to tango. So if Ian doesn't want to get going, that fight might not be the bloodbath that everybody's expecting, everybody's craving and going, oh yeah, ooh, ah. But I mean, on paper, I think it's a fantastic fight, and somebody's got to go.
Jim Miller is not a fan of Donald Cerrone returning to the UFC after being so open about using PEDs during his time off. Jim fought Cowboy back in 2022 and defeated him via guillotine choke in the second round, which was Cowboy's last fight in the UFC. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Jim said, I have a tough time telling other grown men what to do. I don't really believe in it. But the fact that he was very, very open with his use of performance enhancers and the way the majority of his last fights went, he got knocked out quite a few times, and that's not healing from going on a little testosterone replacement therapy or whatever. I'm not super into it, to be 100% honest. It's not my call. It's up to him and his team if they want him to get punched in the head again. Do your thing. I'm not a very big fan of the whole steroid vacation thing. What are we doing? But he's going to do what he wants to do. I want to be in a situation where when I'm done, I'm done. There's no, oh well, I haven't been training fight camp hard for 6 months, a year, and now I feel better because I'm just working out and not just grinding myself down into dust to then kind of jump back into it. Kai Kara-France believes he can knock out both Alexandre Pantoja and Kai Asakura.
I feel like I can definitely knock out Kai or Pantoja. So that's why I'll be tuning in. Let's say it now, if Pantoja wins, let's fight New Zealand. I'll headline it, me and him, for the title, in front of my people.
Or if Kai wins, go to Japan.
There's a story there as well. I'd love to go back over there, fight Super Tama Arena, in front of all the Japanese fans and fight for the title there. That would be awesome.
Matt Brown does not think the UFC can save Conor McGregor from the current situation he's in. Conor was found liable for sexual assault last week, and Matt thinks only Conor can save himself by staying out of clubs and getting back in the gym. On the Fighter vs. the Writer, he went on to say Conor's going to be in a shitstorm here. Obviously, he's going to be fine financially. I don't think he's got any problems there, but I think public-wise, publicity-wise, it's going to hurt him for sure. It should. Whether he was convicted criminally or not, which you said we're not going to get into, whether he actually did it or not, he was found civilly liable, and the fact is he put himself in a situation where something like this could happen. Now he's got to pay the consequences for it. It should be publicly held accountable for it. The public opinion of him has changed. He never had that squeaky clean image like Tiger Woods did. He wasn't that squeaky clean. We all knew he was kind of a wild man, but that kind of added to the allure. Like, he's a wild man, but he's a respectable martial artist. He's not going to do that. Now he crossed that line. At least according to a jury, he has crossed that line. There's a group of people that are going to have lost respect for him and are not going to care as much about what he does or not want to be involved with what he's doing. It has long-reaching effects. I don't think this is unsalvageable, but he has to be the one to salvage it. No one's going to be the one to save him in this situation. The UFC can't save him. He has to do the right things. Get the f*** out of the clubs, put down the straws, and get back in the gym. Maybe fighting isn't what he wants to do anymore, so maybe that's not the right path, but I think it's salvageable. If he comes out and says, I learned a lot from this situation, and I'm not putting myself in these types of situations anymore, I'm focusing on my family, all that kind of stuff, says all the good things. People like to see a redemption story. People want people to be good people. We want Conor to do that, but he has to be the one to do it though. It's not going to happen by itself. I'm going to be cheering him on if he does that. He straightens out his life and he becomes a better person of this whole scenario. I'm saying this with little confidence that that's what's going to happen. Maybe at some point in his life that might happen. Just look at Tyson. It took him a long time. He was pretty old before he finally turned the corner. Conor might be the same guy. Alexandre Pantoja said he wanted to move up to bantamweight to fight Sean O'Malley. Pantoja defends his featherweight title this weekend against Kai Asakura at UFC 310. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Pantoja said, no, I'm the flyweight champion. I want to stay here for a long time. I just thought about a move to fight O'Malley because we have some history before. You know, he talked something bad. I want to prove I beat him in the gym and I could beat him in a real fight. A couple of options, good options. I just think about Kai Asakura and make a great show for everyone. That's what I want. Give to all my fans a great show on December 7th. It's going to be great. Tom Aspinall did a Q&A on his TikTok. He lists his favorite heavyweights of all time and reveals there's been conversations with Eric Nixick about a potential sparring session with Francis Ngannou.
He was in his prime. I still think I would have beat him then because I'm just better than him.
Who are your top three of all-time favourite heavyweights?
My top three heavyweights of all time are probably Fedor, is probably one, Cain Velasquez, and Stipe, probably my three favourites.
Who'd win an MMA fight between Andy Aspinall and Mike Tyson?
What, right now? I wouldn't want to see it, to be honest. Watched Mike Tyson box the other day and I thought, I don't want to see this. My dad's also like 61 years old, so I don't want to see either of them have a fight ever again.
What if John eye pokes you?
I don't know. I've not fought him yet, so I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But for right now, I don't know.
What does your training regime look like in a week when you're preparing for a fight?
I'm someone who trains consistently anyway, but when I am training for a fight, it's mainly the intensity that's different, really. Like I'll still train once, twice a day if I've not got a fight, but the intensity is way different. The intentions that I'm putting in to my workouts are way different when I'm fighting. I'm focusing on what I'm doing. I'm not slacking off. Every training session when I'm in camp is very intense.
Do you think you can beat Brock Lesnar in his prime?
Yes, I'm way better than Brock Lesnar. That's why. I mean, he's old now, but when he was in his prime, I still think I would have beaten him then because I'm just better than him.
Has there been any talk between you and Eric Nixick about training or sparring with Francis Ngannou?
Yes, but that's personal conversation, so I keep that away from the camera. Me and Eric are friends, but that's personal business.
In all the years of fighting, who is the opponent that has teach you the most?
I don't know. I think you learn everything from every fight. Even if you can win the fight in a minute, you still learn about yourself a little bit. So I would say every fight's like a little lesson in itself, in my opinion.
What is the most fun martial art according to you to train?
I don't see it as separate martial arts. I see MMA as one thing. I think MMA is a sport in itself now. I think the days are gone where it's all separate. So I just like to train MMA. I like mixing it all together. That's what's fun for me.
Jorge Masvidal went off on Colby Covington on Jake Shields' podcast. Jorge says that Colby used to pretend to be religious around him, but when they would be in a group of people, he would switch up. He also says that Jon Jones warned him about Colby years ago, but he didn't listen.
Let's get your beef with Colby Covington. Yeah, I never met him, but I don't like
You
him.
wouldn't like
He just
him,
seems
man.
like so fake and cheesy.
He is a fake, bro. He'll meet you and he'll like try to best friend you and this and that. He's trying to like, he's a chameleon, man. You know, he's the type of dude that and I saw it happen many times. You know, he knew I was very religious, so if it was just me and him, we were talking about religious, he'd like open up, man. I'm so religious, man. I believe in God. I know that there's an intelligent design out there, and go like all into it. And then if we're in a group of people, and then like 2-3 people are like atheists, like, no, I don't believe in God. I went to college and this and that. I'd be like, yeah, I agree, man. It's just like the probability's too unlikely. I'd be like, bro, you
people like
you told me like 2-3 weeks ago when you're getting high as a kite, how much you believe in God? Nah, there's no God. No, but like scientifically, he will always be wishy-washy. And you can still see it to nowadays. He's still a wishy-washy guy,
Well, he's had a falling out with all of his good long-term friends. If someone does that, that tells you something. I haven't had a falling out with any of my good friends. Yeah, Jon Jones.
Jon Jones warned me. That Jon Jones and T. Woodley, they warned me. That's the part I wish.
Yeah, you're like, damn, we should listen to these guys, right?
I 100% wish I would have, and T. Wood warned me a lot, and I was very close with Woodley and Colby at the time. I was like, maybe they had fallen out. But then after he did it to my coach, that's when I knew this guy's a piece of shit.
That was that the falling out with you? Oh, he didn't pay your coach or something?
He didn't pay my coach.
What a scumbag.
And that's when I already knew. And my coach trained him from his amateur fight all the way to his interim belt fight with Rafael Dos Anjos. All those fights he trained him. And then now, like, you finally got the belt, so you finally get a little bit of money, as we all know. Like, pay the man. And he straight up stiffed him on that. And I knew since then, like, this guy's just a piece of.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys do that. They'll be not making that much money. They're paying their coaches, and they get a good payday, and they're like, oh,
gone. Next coach, and let me get the next one cheaper. And now I saved a bunch of money.
They're like, oh, I have a name now. A guy will want to do it for cheap because of my name.
Yeah, I never been that type of guy. I'm gonna take care of the ones that have been there with me grinding from the start.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Joyce25. It says, Leon's back. The crowd goes mild. The second one's from The Favelas Have Won. It says, Alex out here literally hitting all side quests. And the final one's from Big Duke 81. It says, Jon Jones. If Jamal Hill beats Yuri, I'll give him the next title shot. What about Tom? Jon Jones. It's about my legacy. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.